Have you ever truly considered the possibility that dinosaurs, those massive, awe-inspiring creatures whose fossils dominate museums, are directly connected to the Bible's creation story? These towering giants, with their immense bones and ancient history, have sparked endless curiosity, but their place within the biblical narrative remains one of the most controversial and misunderstood questions of all time. If dinosaurs did exist, and there's no doubt that they did, why doesn't the Bible explicitly mention them? What role did these extraordinary creatures play in God's creation? And what could their extinction teach us about the world as we know it? Let's start with Genesis, the Bible's account of creation. It mentions the creation of land animals, but not every creature is listed individually. Genesis 1:24 says, "And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind, and it was so." The Bible groups animals broadly into categories like land animals and sea creatures, and dinosaurs undoubtedly fall into the category of land animals. What's even more fascinating is the idea that these incredible creatures may have coexisted with humans. Many biblical scholars point to evidence in Scripture suggesting humans lived alongside these so-called dinosaurs. If land animals and humans were created on the same day of creation, as Genesis states, then humans and dinosaurs must have shared the same world. But why doesn't the Bible give us clearer details about these ancient creatures? To answer this, we must remember the Bible's purpose. It was written as a spiritual guide for humanity, not as a scientific encyclopedia. Its primary focus is to lead people to salvation, not to catalog every animal species. Paul explains this in 2 Timothy 3:16-17. All Scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. This spiritual focus explains why the Bible doesn't explicitly mention dinosaurs by name. However, it does describe creatures that could fit the image of what we now call dinosaurs. For example, ancient texts like Job and Psalms describe creatures such as the Behemoth and the Leviathan. These beings, with their immense strength and terrifying presence, sound remarkably similar to what we know about dinosaurs. The term dinosaur itself wasn't coined until 1841 by Sir Richard Owen, but that doesn't mean these creatures didn't exist during biblical times. The Bible uses other terms like tannin, which appears nearly 30 times in the Old Testament and is translated as serpent dragon or sea monster, depending on the context. Could these descriptions point to the same creatures we now call dinosaurs? To truly understand this connection, we must look closely at the descriptions of these animals. The behemoth in Job is described as a creature with bones like iron and immense strength, while the Leviathan is portrayed as a powerful and untamable sea beast. These vivid descriptions paint a picture of creatures far beyond our modern understanding of land or sea animals. So, did dinosaurs have a place in God's creation? Were they part of His plan, coexisting with humanity to demonstrate the vastness of His power? As we continue to explore these ancient texts, one thing becomes clear: the Bible may not explicitly use the term dinosaur, but its pages hold hints and descriptions that align with these ancient creatures. Stay tuned as we uncover even more astonishing details about the creatures described in the Bible. What role did they play, and why do they remain shrouded in mystery? Trust me, what you're about to learn will change how you see both the Bible and the history of the world. The Bible highlights this creature in Psalm 74:13, which reads, "It was you who split open the sea. By your power you broke the heads of the monster tannin in the waters." In Isaiah 27:1, the prophet refers to the tannin again in a warning to Israel, saying, "In that day the Lord will punish with his sword, his fierce, great, and powerful sword, Leviathan the gliding serpent, Leviathan the coiling serpent. He will slay the monster of the sea." While some argue that tannin could refer to mythological creatures, others suggest that these passages describe very real, ancient reptiles and possibly dinosaurs. The Bible authors used familiar names, and dragon or sea monster may have been the best way to describe large reptiles that roamed the earth at that time, since the word dinosaur wasn't in existence yet. You would only have to look further in Scripture to find descriptions that very much give us detailed imagery of the author's texts. We can then rely on these descriptions and use them to judge if these creatures were just dragons or actually dinosaurs. The descriptions of Behemoth and Leviathan in the book of Job provide even clearer insights. Job 40:15-24 describe Behemoth in the texts, saying, "Look at the land beast, Behemoth. I created him as well as you, grazing on grass, docile as a cow. Just look at the strength of his back, the powerful muscles of his belly. His tail sways like a cedar in the wind. His huge legs are like beech trees. His skeleton is made of steel, every bone in his body hard as steel. Most magnificent of all my creatures, but I still lead him around like a lamb. The grass-covered hills serve him meals, while field mice frolic in his shadow. He takes afternoon naps under shade trees, cools himself in the reedy swamps and the leafy shadows as the breeze moves through the willows. And when the river rages, he doesn't budge, stolid and unperturbed, even when the Jordan goes wild. But you'd never want him for a pet. You'd never be able to housebreak him." Behemoth is introduced as a massive plant-eating land animal, described as peacefully grazing on grass like a cow. However, the comparison to a cow ends there, as Behemoth's true might is revealed through its physical features. The text highlights the creature's immense strength, particularly in the muscles of its belly and the powerful structure of its back. These descriptions paint the picture of a beast far beyond the ordinary animals we see today. One of the most notable aspects of Behemoth's description is its tail, which is compared to a cedar tree swaying in the wind. Cedar trees are known for being tall, strong, and sturdy, and this comparison immediately tells us that Behemoth's tail must have been large and incredibly powerful. This is where many scholars begin to question whether Behemoth could be an elephant or a hippopotamus, animals that are sometimes suggested as possible identities for Behemoth. While both elephants and hippos are large, plant-eating creatures, neither of them has a tail that could be described as resembling a towering cedar tree. Elephants have relatively short, thin tails, and hippos have even smaller, stubbier tails. These do not come close to matching the description in the text. On the other hand, certain dinosaurs, such as the Brachiosaurus or Apatosaurus, had long, massive tails that could easily be compared to the size and strength of a cedar tree. These dinosaurs were enormous creatures with tails that extended behind them like giant, sweeping branches. The sheer size and weight of these tails make them a much better fit for the description given in Job. Unlike the tails of modern animals, which are often small or delicate, the tails of these dinosaurs would have been heavy, strong, and capable of powerful movements, much like the sturdy, swaying trunk of a cedar tree. But the comparison to a tree-like tail isn't the only indication that Behemoth could have been a dinosaur. The text also describes the creature's bones as being like tubes of bronze and its limbs like rods of iron. This imagery emphasizes the incredible strength and sturdiness of Behemoth's skeletal structure. It suggests that Behemoth's bones were thick, dense, and strong, built to support a massive frame. This fits well with what we know about the skeletons of large dinosaurs, which had to support the tremendous weight of their bodies. Dinosaurs like Apatosaurus, for example, had thick, solid bones to carry their massive size, making them a potential match for the description in the Bible. In addition to its physical strength, Behemoth is described as being unshakable and calm in the face of natural challenges. The passage notes that even when rivers rise and flood, Behemoth stands firm, completely unmoved by the raging waters around it. It is a creature that cannot be disturbed or frightened by its environment, no matter how chaotic. This unshakable confidence sets Behemoth apart as one of God's most majestic creations, unlike any ordinary animal. Moreover, there is some emphasis on Behemoth being untamable. Unlike domestic animals, Behemoth is beyond human control. It cannot be turned into a pet, nor can it be trained or housebroken. This wild, untamable nature further adds to the mystery and grandeur of Behemoth. It is a creature of the wild free from human domination, and this speaks to its raw power and dominance in the natural world. When we take all of these descriptions together, the massive, tree-like tail, the strong bones, the unmovable nature in the face of danger, and its untamable spirit, it becomes clear that Behemoth was not an ordinary animal. While some may argue that it could have been an elephant or hippo, the details in the text suggest otherwise. The physical features, size, and power align more closely with what we know about certain types of large, herbivorous dinosaurs. Dinosaurs that readily come to mind, like the Brachiosaurus and Apatosaurus, seem to fit the description way better than any living animal today. What dinosaur do you think Behemoth was? Write down in the comment section below. Behemoth stands as a symbol of God's creative power, a creature unmatched in strength and size. Its peaceful, grass-eating nature, combined with its overwhelming physical presence, reminds us of the diversity and majesty of God's creation. Whether Behemoth was a dinosaur or some other type of creature, its description in the Bible continues to captivate and inspire awe in those who study the scriptures. It serves as a reminder that the natural world, in all its variety, was crafted by God with precision and purpose, and that even the mightiest creatures are part of His grand design. Next, we come to the Leviathan, but before we dive into this creature, if you're enjoying the video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any in the future. We also have an email newsletter you can find in the description to help you learn more about the Bible. The Leviathan is a creature described in Job 41 with remarkable detail and awe. The passage opens with a series of rhetorical questions, starting with, can you pull in Leviathan with a fish hook, or tie down its tongue with a rope? Can you put a cord through its nose, or pierce its jaw with a hook? This introduction immediately sets the tone for Leviathan as an uncontrollable, untamable beast far beyond human power or control. The imagery of attempting to capture Leviathan with something as simple as a fish hook emphasizes just how formidable this creature is. It's clear from the start that Leviathan is no ordinary sea animal. Unlike fish that can be easily caught, Leviathan is too powerful and dangerous for mankind to handle. The description of Leviathan continues throughout the chapter, revealing a creature that is not only mighty but also terrifying. Leviathan is depicted as a sea creature living in the depths of the ocean, where its strength and ferocity make it impossible to tame or subdue. The passage gives the impression that Leviathan rules the seas, a master of its domain that no human can dare to challenge. In fact, Leviathan's invincibility in the water makes it even more intimidating. What really sets Leviathan apart, however, is the description of its fire-breathing abilities. In Job 41:19-21, it says, "Out of his mouth go burning lights, sparks of fire shoot out. Smoke goes out of his nostrils as if from a boiling pot, and burning rushes. His breath kindles coals, and a flame goes out of his mouth." At first glance, this description seems more like something from a legend or a fantasy story, similar to how we imagine dragons. The idea of a creature that breathes fire and produces smoke from its nostrils seems almost too incredible to be real. But could this be based on some reality? While fire-breathing creatures may sound like a myth, some animals today possess surprising biological abilities that can seem just as extraordinary. For example, the bombardier beetle is a small insect, yet it has an incredible defense mechanism. When threatened, it can shoot boiling hot chemicals from its body with surprising accuracy. The chemicals are produced by mixing two compounds in its abdomen, which then create a chemical reaction that results in an explosive spray. This natural weapon is so powerful that it can deter predators many times the beetle's size. While the bombardier beetle doesn't shoot actual fire, its ability to create a burning hot spray gives us a real-world example of how animals can possess unexpected, seemingly mythical traits. Similarly, certain reptiles, such as the spitting cobra, can shoot venom from their fangs to defend themselves. While it's not the same as breathing fire, the cobra's ability to project venom is another example of a surprising natural defense that seems extraordinary, yet it exists in the animal kingdom. These examples show that nature is full of creatures with remarkable abilities, which means that the idea of Leviathan breathing fire might not be as far-fetched as it sounds. Leviathan's description, however, goes beyond just being a powerful sea creature. It is described as untamable, with armor like scales that protect it from any weapon. In Job 41:7 we read, "Can you fill its hide with harpoons or its head with fishing spears?" The text suggests that Leviathan's skin is impenetrable, like a suit of armor. This imagery of thick, protective scales reinforces the idea that Leviathan is not a creature that can be easily subdued or captured. Its physical defense makes it invulnerable to human attacks, making it even more fearsome. Some scholars believe that Leviathan could be based on a real creature, possibly a large, dangerous reptile that lived in the sea. Two common candidates are the mosasaur and the plesiosaur, both of which were enormous marine reptiles that existed during the age of the dinosaurs. These creatures were massive, reaching lengths of up to 50 feet or more, and they were among the top predators in the ocean. The mosasaur was a powerful predator with a long, streamlined body and strong jaws filled with sharp teeth. It was an apex predator in the ancient seas, hunting fish, squid, and even other marine reptiles. Its fearsome size and hunting ability make it a possible candidate for the creature described in Job. The plesiosaur, known for its long neck and flipper-like limbs, was another marine reptile that dominated the oceans. Although it had a slightly different body structure, it was still a formidable predator, capable of moving swiftly through the water to catch prey. The fire-breathing aspect of Leviathan also adds to its supernatural nature. While mosasaurs and plesiosaurs may have been real creatures, the fire and smoke described in Job give Leviathan an almost mythological quality, suggesting that it could be more than just a natural beast. It's not just the Bible that has accounts of these unusual creatures. In ancient times, many cultures had stories of sea monsters and dragons, and Leviathan's depiction seems to combine both elements, the natural and the mythical. Nearly every civilization has recorded stories and depictions of giant, reptilian creatures. The city walls of ancient Babylonian and Roman mosaics depict long-necked creatures that resemble dinosaurs. Similarly, in South America, there are carvings of men riding creatures resembling dinosaurs. These creatures are now known to be triceratops and pterodactyls. Even the World Book Encyclopedia, up until 1973, stated, "The dragons of legend are strangely like actual creatures that have lived in the past. They are much like the great reptiles, dinosaurs, which inhabited the earth long before man was supposed to appear on earth." The imagery of these legendary creatures spans across different cultures and periods, from the Chinese dragon in the zodiac, a mystical creature deeply rooted in Chinese culture and often seen as a symbol of power and good fortune, to the Roman mosaics, which are beautiful works of art made from small pieces of colored glass or stone, and Mayan pottery crafted by the Mayans, an ancient civilization from Central America known for their advanced knowledge in astronomy and architecture. Even Marco Polo, a famous Venetian explorer from the 13th century who traveled through Asia, recorded descriptions of huge serpents that could have been remnants of these dinosaur-like creatures. Polo wrote, "At the forepart near the head, they have 2 short legs, each with 3 claws, as well as eyes larger than a loaf and very glaring. The jaws are wide enough to swallow a man." The existence of such tales in distant, unconnected cultures raises the question of whether they were based on real encounters with dinosaur-like creatures. How long ago were dinosaurs alive and roaming the earth? Perhaps the answers lie in the first thing ever to be created: Earth. Many people, known as creationists, have different ideas about how old the Earth is. The 2 main groups are old Earth creationists and young Earth creationists. The big debate here centers on whether the Earth is billions of years old or just a few thousand. Old Earth creationists side with modern science, believing the Earth is around 4.5 billion years old. They think dinosaurs roamed the planet long before humans ever appeared, which is why the Bible doesn't mention them directly. In their view, God created everything over long periods of time, allowing dinosaurs to exist millions of years ago. Young Earth creationists, however, have a much more intriguing view. They believe the Earth is only about 6,000 years old, based on a literal reading of the Bible. They claim that dinosaurs were created on the same day as humans and might have even been on Noah's Ark during the Great Flood. Imagine that. Dinosaurs and humans living side by side. According to this view, dinosaurs went extinct after the flood due to drastic changes in the environment and lack of resources. There are different methods of estimating the Earth's age, each based on assumptions that may or may not be accurate. However, it's important to note that the Bible doesn't explicitly give an age for the Earth. This is an estimated calculation. The Bible is precise on some matters, like our moral duties toward God and the means of salvation, but it offers less clarity on others, such as the age of the Earth. A guiding principle often used is that the main things are the plain things. Since the Bible doesn't explicitly state the Earth's age, it leaves room for interpretation. Both perspectives seek to harmonize science with faith, but differ in their conclusions about when and how dinosaurs existed. Yet what remains central is faith in God's Word, regardless of which view one holds. Another thing to keep in mind is that both approaches, whether you believe in a young Earth or an old Earth, have their challenges. Some theologians believe the Bible's days of creation might not mean 24-hour days, and there could even be gaps in the genealogies of Genesis. On the scientific side, methods like radiometric dating, which estimate the Earth's age, have their own limitations and rely on assumptions that could be flawed. In the end, we may never know the Earth's exact age for sure. Some people are certain their interpretation is the only correct one, but really, there's no reason why Christians can't believe in an old Earth, and there's no scientific reason why a young Earth is impossible. What's most important is that we trust in God's Word and see it as the ultimate truth. Even though many modern Christian leaders support young Earth creationism, they don't view old Earth believers as holding heretical views. What truly matters is faith in God's plan, no matter the timeline. Believers should not cause division over issues like the age of the Earth, which the Bible does not clearly define. The age of the Earth has no bearing on core doctrines like sin, salvation, or morality, and as Paul advised, believers should avoid strife over such matters. What is crucial is understanding who created the Earth, why He did it, and how we are meant to relate to Him, rather than focusing on precisely when creation occurred. We may not have all the answers on the age of the Earth, but does the Bible provide any evidence of the existence of these Jurassic species? How did they go extinct if they were alive with humans? You're about to find out. Originally, dinosaurs, like all animals, were vegetarians. Genesis 1:30 states, "And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat." And it was so. This revelation stands in stark contrast to modern portrayals of dinosaurs as terrifying predators. Sin altered everything. When Adam and Eve disobeyed God, sin and death entered the world. Death affected not only humans, but all creation, including the dinosaurs. Therefore, dinosaurs could not have died off millions of years before humans arrived. Their decline began after the fall of humanity into sin. The global flood during Noah's time provides further explanation. Genesis 6:9 describes a catastrophic flood that wiped out nearly all life on Earth, sparing only Noah, his family, and the animals aboard the ark. From a biblical perspective, the Great Flood offers a possible explanation for their extinction. God instructed Noah to take 2 of every kind of animal, which may likely have included some small or young dinosaurs, onto the ark. The rest would have perished in the flood, with many fossils forming during and shortly after this apocalypse. After the flood, changes in climate, along with scarcity of food and increased competition with other species, could have led to their eventual extinction. This is how Bible scholars believe the Bible explains the eventual fate of the dinosaurs in Genesis. Fossils provide another key piece of the puzzle. The rapid burial of plants and animals during the flood could explain the preservation of dinosaur fossils. As Genesis 7:11 describes, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. This global flood would have created the conditions necessary for fossils to form, with layers of sediment quickly covering plants and animals. Interestingly, recent discoveries of soft tissue in dinosaur bones challenge the assumption that these fossils are millions of years old. For example, paleontologist Mary Schweitzer discovered soft tissue, including blood vessels and red blood cells, in a Tyrannosaurus rex fossil. This finding has led some scientists to reconsider the timeline of fossilization and suggests that these creatures may have lived more recently than previously thought. So if dinosaurs were real, what was their role in God's creation? Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest dinosaur, had a purpose in God's intricate and perfectly balanced ecosystem. This includes dinosaurs, which would have contributed to the overall harmony of the pre-human world, much like large animals do today. When we think about the role of dinosaurs, it's helpful to reflect on Psalm 104:24, which says, "How many are your works, Lord? In wisdom you made them all, the earth is full of your creatures." This verse reminds us that every aspect of God's creation, whether it existed millions of years ago or lives today, was created with purpose, wisdom, and careful design. Dinosaurs were no exception. Their presence in the world before humans points to a larger system of balance and harmony that existed even before we walked the earth. In many ways, the Bible gives us glimpses of how creatures like Leviathan and Behemoth reflect God's sovereignty and control over all creation. Even the most powerful creatures like Leviathan are under God's authority. While no human could hope to tame or control such a creature, God is still master over them, just as He is master over the entire universe. In Job 41:11, God says, "Who has a claim against me that I must pay? Everything under heaven belongs to me." This includes the largest, most fearsome animals. Leviathan's existence symbolizes both the power and danger of the natural world, but it also represents God's supreme authority over even the most untamable and wild aspects of His creation. Similarly, we can think about dinosaurs in the same way. Their massive size, their strength, and their power are all reflections of God's ability to create creatures that are awe-inspiring in every way. When we look at the bones and fossils of these great creatures, we are reminded of the vastness of God's creative power. Just as the heavens and the oceans declare the glory of God, as Psalm 19:1 says, we can also see that dinosaurs, with their incredible forms and complexity, reflect the majesty of the Creator. Their grandeur and complexity tell us that God's design is not only powerful, but it's also detailed and purposeful. Every part of these creatures, from their towering tails to their massive bones, reflects a God who is not only mighty but also intricate in His work. But beyond their size and power, dinosaurs had an important role in maintaining the balance of the natural world. Just as large herbivorous animals today, such as elephants or bison, shape their environments by consuming plants and clearing areas for new growth, the same would have been true for herbivorous dinosaurs. Large plant-eating dinosaurs, like Triceratops or Brachiosaurus, would have eaten huge amounts of vegetation. This activity would have allowed new plants to grow, ensuring that the ecosystem stayed balanced and healthy. By clearing large areas of plants, these dinosaurs would have kept the environment thriving, much like modern animals do today. Their role was essential to the health of the ecosystems in which they lived. Similarly, carnivorous dinosaurs had an equally important role. Just like lions, wolves, and other predators in today's ecosystems, carnivorous dinosaurs helped maintain the balance of animal populations. They prevented the overpopulation of herbivores by hunting them, which in turn kept plant life from being overgrazed. This cycle of predation and herbivory is a natural part of God's design for the earth. Carnivorous dinosaurs, like Tyrannosaurus rex, played a role in this system by ensuring that no one species grew too dominant, which would have thrown the ecosystem out of balance. Their presence helped maintain a natural order, one that God designed to sustain the biodiversity of the planet. In this way, dinosaurs can be thought of as early caretakers of the earth. They were a part of the natural order that God established long before humans arrived on the scene. Just as humans are called to be stewards of the earth today, dinosaurs had a role in caring for the planet in their own way. Their actions, whether it was clearing forests through grazing or hunting other animals, kept the natural world functioning as God intended. This idea is echoed in Genesis 1:28, where God commands humans to fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. This verse gives us a clear picture of stewardship. While this command was given to humans, it reflects the natural order that God established for all of creation. Each creature, including dinosaurs, had a role to play in maintaining the Earth's balance. Just as we are entrusted with the care of the world today, dinosaurs contributed to that balance long before humanity appeared. Although they once played a significant role in Earth's history, dinosaurs now exist only as components of fossils, ancient bones displayed in museums, or reconstructed in our imaginations through movies and books. But why did they go extinct? Was their disappearance part of God's plan, or were they some sort of mistake in creation that had to be erased? To answer this, we need to consider a biblical perspective. The Bible doesn't give a specific reason for the extinction of dinosaurs, but it does offer clues that can help us understand this mystery. The first point to consider is that everything in creation serves a purpose. According to the Bible, God's creation is not random or purposeless. Everything, from the smallest insect to the largest dinosaur, has a reason for existing in God's plan. The Bible tells us in Genesis 1:31, God saw everything that He had made, and behold, it was very good. This includes the creation of dinosaurs, which were part of this good creation. However, like many other creatures that have gone extinct, their time on Earth came to an end, possibly because they had fulfilled their role in the larger scheme of creation. It's important to understand that extinction is a natural part of life on Earth. Throughout history, many species have gone extinct, and this is often part of the cycle of creation. Ecclesiastes 3:1-2 tells us, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die. Just as new species come into existence, others fade away." Dinosaurs were part of this cycle. They lived, they flourished, and eventually they died out. But that doesn't mean they were a failure or a mistake. Their existence played a crucial role in shaping the Earth's ecosystems and preparing the planet for future life. Thank you for watching and joining us on this fascinating journey into the mysteries of the Bible and the ancient world. If you found this video insightful or thought-provoking, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share your perspective. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content where faith meets discovery. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update as we continue to uncover hidden truths and explore the wonders of God's creation. Your support means the world to us, so let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next video.